Good morning. Long. I got to make sure I can see here. Long is red, which isn't as good. We're going to go black. Division. Yay. Long division. Your lesson in long division. Long division. What is division? What is division? First of all, division is dividing something up, breaking it into parts. So if we had the number 8, if we had 8 items, 8 books, and we broke it into 2 groups, we could write it like that. And if we take that 8 and divide it into 2 groups, right, we're going to have 4 in each group. Easy, right? And then here's the long division part, though. I'm going to teach you. 4 times 2 is 8. I subtract and have nothing left over. That means there's no remainders. There's nothing left over. 8 is divisible by 2 in 4 groups in each. What's nice about that is it's just your math facts. And we're going to do long division using just our math facts. So we can even do bigger numbers using just our math facts. So let's say I have a bigger number. I'm going to get rid of them. Let's say we have a bigger number, such as 123. Now, let's say I have to divide 100. I have 123 people, and I got to put them in 2 groups for some sort of like activity. All right, 2 groups, 2 classrooms. Okay, first thing I want to do is say to myself, well, I could guess. Okay, I know 2 times 50 is 100. I guess you should do this guess and check model, partial quotients. But I don't know what I can do out on this particular stuff. I'm going to teach you long division the right way. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is say to myself, 2, can I put it into that 1? Just the 1. Will 2 go into the 1? No. Okay, so nothing there. Can't do that. But now, looking at just the 12, will 2 go into the 12? Yes. How many times? 2 times what? Gets close to or exactly 12? Well, it's a 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Okay, that's the divide part. That's called the divide part, D. Now we're going to multiply 6 times 2 just to prove we're 12. 6 times 2 is 12. We're going to write that right underneath the 12. We've got to have that place value lined up because it's really 120. What we're saying is 60 times 2 is 120. And that's the multiply part. And now we're going to subtract 12 minus 12, and I get a 0. So that's the subtract part. And now I'm going to bring down. This is critical. Use an arrow. This keeps our place value lined up perfectly. Bring down. Okay. And that's the B. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Okay. We're going to follow that model. Okay, now I have 3. Now I'm going to divide again because I have 3, and 2 will go into 3. I'm just kind of restarting it over. 2 will go into 3. How many times? 2 times what gets me 3? Well, 1. I can't go over 3. So, and now that's the divide. Now I'm going to multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. And now I'm going to subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1. And now 2 will not go into 1. So that is my remainder. So I'm going to put a little remainder of 1. So I've got in each group of the 123 people, in each room, I've got 61 people with 1 person left over. We'll just pop them into one of the rooms, right? In that leftover example. And if you think about it, 61 plus 61 is what? 122 plus that extra person. Okay, so that's long division. One more time. Let's do another one. You can watch this a couple times if you'd like. That might help you watch this video a couple of times. Let's go. We're going to do this one with a little bit bigger number, but it's still the same process. Don't worry about it. And we're going to divide 1,401 by 5. Okay, this number ends in a 1, so my guess is going to be we're going to have leftover. If it ended in a 0 or 5, I'm going to guess that we probably would have a nice even finish, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to worry about that. We could say 5 times 100 gets 500. We can do some guess and checks and subtract away, but no. We're going to do this long division, place value-wise. Ready? Will 5 go into 1? Of course not. Will 5 go into 14? See, again, we're just not going to ignore everything, so we're going one digit at a time. Yes, so 5 won't go into 1. There's nothing there, but it will go into 14. How many times will it go into 14? 2 times. Because if I do it 3 times, it's 15. It's too big. Okay, that's the divide part. D. Now I'm going to multiply. 2 times 5 is 10. Remember, you're just dealing with these digits at a time. Don't worry about those digits. That's the multiply. And now I'm going to subtract. Okay, and I get 14 minus 10. And now I'm going to bring down and use the arrows. Trust your teacher on this. Use the arrows. And I get a 40. Now I'm dealing here. That's the subtract. Then I did the bring down. Now I'm back to the divide. 5 goes into 40. How many times? Boy, knowing your math facts makes it a lot easier. I'm telling you. 5 times and it's an 8. So remember, we're playing right above this place value right here, right above that place value. So now 8 times 5 is 40. That's the multiply part. Subtract. I got nothing left over, but I still have more to bring down. So I'm going to bring it all the way down. Use an arrow. Keep your place value lined up. It's critical in all of mathematics. And then finally, will 5 go into, that's the bring down. Will 5 go into, back to the divide, into 1? No, it won't. So that's a 0. It won't go, and I got to fill in my place value. Okay, so 0. And then 0 times 5 is 0, and a subtract with 1 left over. So my remainder is 1. I was correct in my assumption earlier, as you can tell. Okay, got to fill all the place values with digits. So if your divisor won't go in, then this is the divisor's dividend. If it won't go in to get the quotient, then you have a 0 to fill that place value. Okay, we'll do just one more quick one, and then we'll be done, and you'll do the problems at the end of this video on a blank piece of paper, which you'll fold and half fold, so you have 4 places. Put your name in box 1. You know the routine. Come on, it's routine. Let's go 3. Let's divide. Let's just keep it simple on this one. Let's keep it simple. Let's go 3 into 137. 137. We're going to take 137 divided in 3 parts. Again, you could guess. You could say, well, 50, that's 150. It's too big. So my numbers, my quotient's not going to be 50 because that's 150. So it must be, maybe it's 40. That's 120. See how you do this? Kind of guess and check. But let's not worry about it. Let's just divide it. 3 goes into 1 how many times? 0. Can't do it. Just can't do it. 3 goes into 13. Know your math facts? 3 times what gets me close to 13? That's a 4. That's the divide part. Now we'll do the multiply part. 4 times 3 is 12. That's the multiply part. Now we do the subtract. 13 minus 12 is 1. Keeping your place value perfectly lined up. You have to be neat in mathematics. You do the bring down part. The 7. Because remember, this is a 40. Remember, we said 3 times 40 is 120, so we're getting close. We know that seems sensible. And now we do the divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Oh, I forgot to subtract in there, in the DMSB. And now I'm going to do the divide again, back to the divide. 3 into 17, 5, right? 3 times 5 is 15, so we're close. So we're going to put a 5 up here in the 1's place. 5 times 3 is 15. That's the multiply part. We're going to subtract, get a 2. And then we're going to bring down. There's nothing to bring down. And so our remainder is 2. 3 times 45, okay? We can always check too. 3 times 40 is 120. 3 times 5 is 15. That'd be 135. And then, of course, it's sensible that we have 2 left over. What do we do with the remainder? It depends on what we're doing. If we're filling buses, we're going to, we don't want somebody left at school. So it just depends on what that remainder is referring to and what people, okay? So that's the lesson. You can rewatch it if you feel like you want to go a little slower. Get a blank piece of paper, and you'll do these problems. Ready? And let's do one more. That's all we're going to do is one more. I'll tell you what, I'm going to make you a deal. We're going to do one more. It should be a bigger number. 7 in 7, it's a 7, into 1,943. Okay, and then number 6, you make one. You make one and solve it. Got it? You make one and solve it. When you are done with this, okay, you're going to check it against my key in the front by the motorcycle cup. Boom.